So if you were to combine Mancera's red tobacco with Xerjoff's Eddie Papuda and Parfums de Marley Leighton, you might end up with this. This is Triumph of Bacchus by Argos, and it's definitely not blind buy worthy, and I'm going to tell you why right after this. So my name's Fragrant Derek. Welcome back to A Fragrant State of Mind. Today we're reviewing Triumph of Bacchus by Argos. Now take a look at that bottle. Absolutely stunning presentation. The color of the juice is this very dark red, ambery color. Gorgeous plate on the front. Kind of has this Greek god-esque style of presentation. It's sort of like a Egyptian eye or something like that. Of course, it has the Argos branding at the bottom as well as on the neck of the cap. The cap itself feels, it's okay. It doesn't feel super cheap, but it also doesn't feel incredibly premium. Kind of somewhere in the middle. Does not match the rest of the bottle though. This bottle feels incredibly luxurious. The cap, on the other hand, falls a little short. Also, this does not click into place and you definitely cannot grab it by the cap, so don't go trying to do that. Also, I don't know if this is just my particular bottle, but I've been having a little bit of issues with this atomizer. It does spray really good juice, but every once in a while I hit it and it misses. Obviously it's not doing that right now, so I can't show you that. Of course it's not. Kind of like when you take your car to the mechanic and you're like, it's making this sound, and then it just doesn't make the sound. But other than that, the presentation, spectacular. I mean, Argos really went all out with this fragrance. Now, that being said, Argos is an American niche fragrance house. Very expensive. These bottles are selling for, I think, between $200 and $500 depending on the concentration. I saw the extrait to parfum version of this selling online for around $455. This particular bottle is selling between $220 and $250 a bottle, depending on where you buy it, although I'm not really seeing it show up on too many discount fragrance websites, so it's probably not the easiest fragrance to get a hold of. Now, I have had a chance to wear this fragrance a couple days in a row, and I did wear it the full length of time to give myself the full experience of this fragrance, and I have some interesting things to report. Also, you're definitely going to want to stick around to the end of the video so I can tell you if this fragrance is going to be worth your hard-earned money. Now, what I can say about this fragrance is the moment it hits your skin, it's going to fill the room. This is something that blows a very large scent cloud and will disrupt the entire room if you spray it in a public area. So you might not want to do that. Going in on it immediately, you're kind of met with a muddled mess. The reason I say that is because it feels confused in the opening. And the opening kind of lasts a really long time. I got about 30 to 45 minutes before this fragrance really fully settled down. And when it settles down, it sort of does open up and start to bloom into a fragrance that starts to make sense, but it never fully gets there. In the opening, you're met with this very sweet, almost medicinal, resinous, fruity vibe, and it's hard to put your finger on exactly what fruits you're getting. Some people say cherry. In the notes it says things like apple and a couple other things I don't remember off the top of my head. I know this has some saffron in it as well as some boozy notes and lots of fruits. I think the saffron mixed with the fruity notes is what's giving it this sort of medicinal property. I think saffron works in a lot of ways, although when you mix it with fruit, it tends to create a scent profile that feels a bit more on the herbaceous medicinal side, kind of like you're mixing Chinese cough syrup or something. But this does have that very fruity opening with the resins. Also, this does feel a bit leathery, boozy, and floral mixed with those fruits. And it kind of gives you this vibe of feeling incomplete. It doesn't feel like it was a full thought out fragrance. And it's crazy because so many people love this. As a matter of fact, from this house, this is the one that people talk about the most. And I just didn't get it. I couldn't understand why people hype this so much when it feels to me incomplete. Now, I heard a lot of people say that in the dry down that it comes alive and that's where it starts to make sense. And for me personally, it never fully gets there. This certainly does start to smell better in the dry down, but for me, it just all the way through the life of this scent, it kind of smells incomplete, and it almost is slightly annoying. And trust me, I love when a fragrance lasts 10 to 12 hours. This one definitely will do that. But if a fragrance is going to stick around that long, you want to make sure that you're enjoying what you're smelling. And for me, it just doesn't do that. But I do appreciate what it is. I love the design of the bottle. The juice inside for me is just a little underwhelming. I do get that they're using very high quality oils as well as a high concentration of them. This does feel like a very niche fragrance. This does just feel a little bit incomplete and a little confuffled, whatever that means. So the big question is this fragrance worth your money? And the answer is, that's going to be up to you. Now, is it blind buy worthy? Absolutely not. If you haven't figured that out already, this is not a fragrance that you want to just go ahead and blind buy. I would really suggest getting a sample of this fragrance before you go ahead and blind buy it. Of course, you can do that over at my website, Fragrant.online, where you guys can score all kinds of fragrance decants, just like this one, at a great price. And of course, you want to try before you buy, because blind buying at a $200 to $500 price point is not necessarily in my budget, and I know it's not in yours. I hope you guys have an amazing day out there. I love you all. Continue to look good, feel good, and smell good. My name's Fragrant Derek, and as always, keep a fragrant state of mind.